Secretary Foxx, I appreciate your message, and as you know, both Senator Booker and I are champions of that view in the United States Senate, but I appreciate your efforts to have a long-term, vibrant, robust transportation bill, because at the end of the day, it's all about jobs, it's all about the economy, it's all about our future, and there isn't a state in the country, I believe, that knows that better than the state of New Jersey. So, Mr. Secretary, welcome to our state, and the next time you come, we want you to bring a check with you. So that's why we want to give you a lot of transportation money. And to Senator Booker, let me just say we are so fortunate that Senator Booker is on two incredibly important committees that have broad jurisdiction, but on this issue of transportation, he really is at the epicenter of the opportunity. And having filled in the positions that the late Senator Lautenberg had, was a champion in transportation, he is becoming our own champion in this regard as a member of the Environment and Public Works Committee and as a member of the Senate Commerce Committee, both which have different elements of transportation jurisdiction in them, and he is a tremendous champion. You know, I was looking at the mayor, and then the secretary, and Senator Booker and myself. All four of us were mayors. And so one of us is still the mayor, and the other three of us were mayors. And mayors understand the challenges that communities have, and they have to deal with the practical elements of bringing people together in common cause to achieve a goal. And so it's instructive to me that the secretary and Senator Booker, having been the mayor of the state's largest city, now moving in the Senate in incredibly important ways, know how important this issue is. So I couldn't have a better partner in that regard. Look, for years now, I chair the Mass Transit Subcommittee, and I sit on the Senate Finance Committee that has to find a way to pay for it. And I have said that we are willing to put our votes up for a long-term, robust transportation bill along the lines of what the president has suggested, so that America can grow, so that America can have jobs, so that our leaders in labor, like Ray Pacino and the others who are joining us, and the men and women who have joined with us today, to demonstrate that at the end of the day, this is about jobs, it's about our families, it's about our communities, it's about our economic future. It's not just about highways. It's not just about asphalt. It's not just about steel and bridges. It's not just about a ferry that gets us across to Manhattan, or a PATH station and a PATH ride, or a New Jersey Transit train. This is about people. It's about jobs. It's about our economy. It's about our future. And we cannot grow if we are sitting stuck in traffic. And so I get chagrined when I travel all over the world as the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and I see other countries like China making enormous investments in the infrastructure of their country, and particularly in the transportation infrastructure. Why? Because they know that their economic future and the need to provide over 1 billion Chinese citizens an opportunity is going to come in large part from that reality. I'm embarrassed sometimes when I travel, like in Japan, on a bullet train that can go rapid speeds, interconnecting cities, and effortlessly, you don't even feel like you're going at the high speeds you're going. And then I ride some of our trains and I feel like I'm shaking, rattling, and rolling. Something is wrong when the greatest country on the face of the earth that led the world in this regard now finds itself well behind. And so to bring it home in a New Jersey context, and I know and I agree with Ray Pacino that what is being done right now is only a patch, and with the secretary, and that's why we've been for a robust legislation. And we have to have a greater amount of money, but I must say, here in New Jersey, we also need partners that understand the reality that it's not just going to be the federal government, like in this project, to provide 80-some-odd million with only 1 million from the state. That's great, and whenever we can do that, we want to do that. But there's going to be also a state match. And so I am a little amazed when I don't hear from our state voices that speak to, and I know the Assemblywoman has a resolution calling on the federal government for greater participation, and we support that, but we're also going to need a state match. And the consequences of this not ultimately happening in terms of the federal government means that instead of getting a project like I-80, where 83 of the $84 million came from the federal government, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen with the patch that we have right now. We know what else is not going to happen is that after working in the last reauthorization of the transportation bill, where we received record funding for New Jersey, $500 million per year in transit funding, and about $1 billion per year in highway funding, that's not going to happen if the law lapses or if we don't have something more than a patch, as the Secretary was talking about. And in terms of the challenges to us, we're looking at real losses in our state if we don't have the wherewithal to be able to have some long-term robust transportation funding. Even though the state has been unwilling to talk about, unlike other states, the challenges that we'll have, the Federal Department of Transportation has made some projections on New Jersey specific impacts if Congress fails to act. Over 23,000 jobs would be jeopardized, and over 1,300 active highway and transit projects would either be slowed or stopped. The men and women behind us cannot afford for them and their families and many others they represent to lose jobs at a time that we are trying to have a continuous economic recovery. The men and women who ride the highways and byways of New Jersey cannot afford to have transit and highway projects stopped. If you're a mom trying to get your daughter to a soccer game or your son to a softball game or trying to take them to school, the last thing you need is to sit more time in traffic as you try to meet the challenges of your busy day. If you're a construction worker, the last thing you need is to have to leave earlier and earlier from wherever you live to the construction site in order to try to get there on time because you're stuck in traffic. If you're a small business owner sending your sales force out along New Jersey Transit or Amtrak to try to sell your products or services, and you're stuck and it's late and you lose your appointment and you lose the deal, you lose jobs here in New Jersey. And so this has so many dimensions about our economic future. It's also about our quality of life. Are we going to sit more time in traffic? Are we going to have less quality of life, less time with our families, less time to be productive at work? Or are we going to be able to move efficiently and be both successful economically and have a greater quality of life? Are we in a state that has the highest rate of cancer incidences in respiratory illnesses going to breathe cleaner quality air? Or are we going to be idling in traffic that ultimately creates a bigger challenge to the air quality that we have? So this issue is about jobs, it's about the economy, it's about the future, it's about our families, it's about the quality of our lives. And I don't know too many things that encompasses all of those things. And that's why Senator Booker and I are fighting to make sure that we meet the challenge, create the opportunity, and unlock the potential. Thank you very much for having me with me.